Okay, so obviously we all know being around like a guy that you like and like hoping that he thinks you're cool is like so nerve-wracking and gives you a bunch of anxiety. But you know what's worse that we never talk about? Being around a girl that you really want to be friends with and you're like, "Oh my gosh, I can't like does she think I'm cool cuz you think she's like so cool and you want to be her friend so bad but you don't want to come off like desperate." So you're like that is so much more nerve-wracking than guys. Guys it's like, "Okay, whatever." Girls it's like, "Please be my friend. Please."
Welcome to The Wall. In today's video, we'll explore two stories that will leave you thinking. First, we'll talk about a woman who has no qualms about telling her boyfriend that if he falls into a coma, she'd have someone to replace him in just 2 weeks. The reason? She doesn't want to deal with his medical bills and needs someone to cover her expenses. Then, we'll dive into the excuses of a 40-year-old woman about why men don't date women her age, where, according to her, it's always because they don't have what it takes. We want you to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. We're chasing 150,000 subscribers before the end of the year. Share your experiences and advice in the comments. That's what makes this community grow.
If I was
Turn
in a coma, how long would you wait until you moved on?
Realistically, like 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Oh yeah, she already got her somebody.
I feel like you wouldn't get hard to get over. You know what I mean?
She don't like you. She just here for a good time, not a long time.
I just,
2 weeks.
well, yeah, like I'm not gonna get stuck paying your hospital bill. Are you kidding me? And who's gonna support me financially? Myself?
She needs to exit immediately. What are you waiting for? That's one of the biggest red flags I've seen.
Hospital bill?
Is that a joke?
You don't have to pay that.
Okay, well, if you're not gonna be here, who's gonna support me financially? I need to hurry up and run and like find the next one.
She for the streets. You need to throw her ass in a wall and let them take their turn.
Tinder's already downloaded on my phone now that you just said that. Like I'm just
Oh.
preparing. I'm just preparing.
Are you serious?
Don't grab my shit like that.
Bro,
2 weeks is good, right?
It was hypothetical if I was in a coma, so now you're saying I'm gonna be in a coma? What are you gonna do to me?
Well, I'm just saying, like, I have to
No, what are you
prepare
gonna
for the
do to me?
worst. I have to put myself first, so you're gonna get mad at that? You don't want me to take care of myself? You don't want another man to, like, help me?
Why is this conversation still going on? Drop her ass off on the counter and let her get to work.
Oh my gosh. 2 weeks is diabolical. That's just
I feel like
wrong.
When they say, "Till death do us part," many men take it literally. But here's the reality. Many women don't last even a week when things get tough. This video makes it clear. If a man falls on hard times, whether due to illness or financial struggles, the first thing many women do is look for an exit. And while it's tough to face, it's also a blessing in disguise because it frees you from someone who never loved you for who you are, but for what you provide. That's why I always tell you, brothers, be firm with your boundaries and gentle with your needs. Test women with small things. If she never does anything for you, not even a simple act of service like making you a meal, she definitely won't be there for you during hard times. Those small actions, even if you don't need them, are clear indicators of whether she cares about you or is just with you out of convenience. Remember, a woman who won't stand by you in tough times will never be your partner in the good ones.
I asked him for help with something like, look at the giant mess that our kitchen is. Okay. So I asked him for help. And you know what he decides to do? He decided to go outside and clean his truck out.
Okay, so I can womansplain this. If you ask a man for help, his brain is going to do basically the same thing as a broken printer once it unjams. He's not going to go for the current project. He's going to go for whatever was the last project that he remembered in his load order. You might not remember it, but at some point in time, you asked him to clean out his car, so that's what he's doing now. What you didn't do was ask him to clean the kitchen. You asked for help. If there's one thing I've learned in marriage, and I've learned a lot, it's that there is no shame in asking for literally exactly what you want. If you want him to buy you flowers, don't just say things like, it would be nice if you did something special for me once in a while. Tell him, hey, I'd like it if you bought me flowers sometimes. If you want him to comfort you a certain way, don't just say things like, I wish you cared more about me. Tell him specifically, I want you to hug me even when I'm mad at you. It doesn't make you less of a woman because he's not doing things that you never asked him to do, okay? It makes you a smart woman who knows what she wants. Now, I totally understand the miscommunication causing a little bit of frustration. But you know what's going to cause an even bigger rift in your marriage? You following him around and secretly recording him and then secretly dogging him to 500,000 people. And that's why this is a partner shaming episode and not just a woman-splaining episode. Like, imagine you sit down to use the bathroom and all of a sudden you hear this from outside the door.
Now he's pooping.
Like, bro, are you serious? Real talk, if my husband heard that, he would ruin that TikTok. He would kick the door open and be like, yeah, I'm pooping. You want a closer look? Let's reverse these roles real quick. I just want to know how she would feel if he was the one video recording her mistakes and flaws and allowing such comments as, that's your other child. I have one of those. You men need better ladies. Absolutely would not be letting that continue. Sorry to break it to you, but it doesn't get better. I divorced mine. Oh no, you would be okay with your husband talking about divorcing you to 500,000 people? I'm just saying, how is any of this productive instead of just walking outside and saying, hey babe, I actually need help with the kitchen? You followed him around with your phone and created an echo chamber of resentment toward him. One of the other patterns I noticed about this series, besides the general trope of secretly record, secretly bash, leave up for views, and then pretend the relationship is fine, is that these men tend to be very private people. They generally don't have TikToks, and they generally have no idea what's going on. And so again, I want to remind you guys that just because someone is your spouse doesn't mean that you have the full rights to constantly record them and put their mistakes and flaws up on the internet for your own entertainment. I think this lady needs to stop and rewatch some of her TikToks and listen to what her husband is saying in them, because I don't think the consent is there. I mean, listen closely.
Come in here. Come in here. Come in here.
Don't treat your partner like your ex unless you want them to be one.
I completely agree with what this woman says. The problem isn't that men don't help. It's that, many times, they don't know exactly what you want because you don't say it clearly. Expecting them to read your mind or interpret vague hints is absurd. If you want them to clean the kitchen, say so. Don't ask for help and then get upset if they end up washing the car because that's the last thing you asked them to do weeks ago. The male brain is straightforward. Give me a clear instruction and I'll do it. Also, recording your husband to expose him on TikTok isn't just immature. It's a complete betrayal. How can you expect to build something solid if your first reaction is to ridicule him in front of 500,000 people instead of talking to him? If he did the same to you, you'd be crying and calling it emotional abuse. Don't treat your partner like he's your enemy or your ex. Men are simple. If you say what you want clearly and respectfully, we'll do it. But if you choose to ridicule and disrespect your husband, don't be surprised when he leaves, and then you claim he was abusive.
One of the reasons why man talks about women hitting the wall at 35 is because a woman in her 40s sexual appetite increase exponentially. And if a man wasn't taking care of his body, he's not going to be able to keep up with that woman's needs. He's not going to be able to please that woman because the woman is going to want it back to back to back, right? And if the man wasn't taking care of himself, he's not going to be able to keep up, right? And a lot of these men, they're suffering from ED, they're suffering from health issues. And so if they're with a woman in their 40s, they're going to be embarrassed. That is one of the reasons why women in their 40s date younger men, because they want the stamina, they want the duration. They don't care if they have to train the man or to teach the man skill. They want the duration, they want the stamina, because those women, their appetite have increased so much, right? That they just want pleasure, right? And the duration, the stamina is what they need to be pleased. Because when a woman is in their 40s, their sexual appetite is insatiable, and it needs a man who have been taking care of his body to keep up, to quench that woman's fire. All right? Make sure to save this video as a young girl, because trust me, your intimacy life, your sexy time is just going to get better with age.
It's always interesting how, when a woman analyzes relationship issues, the blame always seems to fall on the man. Now, Apparently, we don't want to date women aged 35 or 40 because we can't keep up with their sexual appetite. But why doesn't anyone talk about the real reason? It's not the passion, it's the drama. Men prefer to avoid these relationships because they come loaded with unrealistic standards, overwhelming masculine energy, and a focus that turns every date into a rushed job interview for commitment. The issue isn't their experience, it's the baggage they bring. Divorces, kids from a Chad who didn't stick around, or that "I deserve everything just for being me" mindset. Many men have no problem dating women who genuinely want to build a family, but when that woman comes with a package of disproportionate expectations and disdain for the average man, it's no surprise they'd rather choose someone younger, with less trauma, and with whom they can enjoy life without a checklist of demands. This is how it works. A man improves himself, reaches his peak, and then chooses what he truly wants, not what he feels forced to accept. It's not weakness, it's selection.
My favorite men are the men that just work. Like, if you're a man, you need to be at work. Where all the good men, they're at work, doing their job, focusing on their job, excelling in their field. Those are the best men, because a man who is not happy with his career or where he's at in life are the most evil men you will ever meet. They're the most insecure, evil men. They will ruin your fucking life. And they're just not fun to be around. Guys, working, career, happy, of course, probably wants to excel more. We all do. But like, that man is your man. The man that's not happy with where he's at in his career, bye. Bye, 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 bye. Love you, bye. See you later. Can't chat.
Oh, hell no!
Here we see a woman looking for a beta provider to support her. Let's be honest, many women like this type of man because he's almost never home. Why do you think there's a 43% divorce rate among women aged 45 to 55? It's because the husband is nearing retirement, and when they realize he'll be home all the time, they'd rather leave early before that happens. That's why they like it, because while he's working, he provides them with a good life. It's like having an investment account that yields great benefits, and before the stock crashes, they sell it. This is the sad reality for men.
If you are constantly getting ghosted, if it feels like you are attracting partners that you are so much more obsessed with than they are with you, or maybe you just don't get princess treatment, I'm going to tell you why this is happening and how to fix it easily as someone who used to get ghosted all the time. So the reason this keeps happening is because you have put this person on a pedestal, okay? You view them as above you, as someone you have to impress, okay? As someone you have to win over. See, anything you chase in life will run away. In every relationship or connection, there's going to be the feminine and the masculine energy, the receiver and the pursuer. And so when you're constantly thinking about a person, when your energy is consumed in them, then you are the chaser. You are in your masculine energy rather than your feminine receiving energy. This is also the reason why the law of detachment is so powerful and works so fast and well, because when you detach from the outcome and you realize that you are completely satisfied in yourself, that you have given yourself all the validation, and your validation and happiness and security has nothing to do with this person, you take them off the pedestal and realize they have to impress you rather than the other way around. Suddenly, they're chasing after you. The way you're going to fix this is you're mentally going to put this person off the pedestal, and you're going to start telling yourself, they have to impress me. They have to win me over. You have to start convincing and telling yourself how much you bring to the table. They have to win you over. Like, that's the mindset you need to have, is they have to win you over. Every time you see them, you have to ask yourself, what have they done to win me over? Am I even impressed? Go into it with the mindset of what do they bring to the table? And when you approach it with that mindset, watch how fast that person is worshiping you, begging for you, trying to impress you. Try it out and watch what happens, because the people who are doing my workshop, which you can grab at the top of my page, you start doing things like this and self-concept, literally see results like this, like exes crawling back, people giving them the utmost princess treatment, literally obsessed with them. Use code Valentine's Day if you get it right now to get 25% off. You're welcome. I love you. Bye. All for more.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Here's the smoke seller who's going to teach you how to make a man obsessed with you when she doesn't even have one herself. These are the women who try to profit off other women who've hit the wall, claiming that to get a man, you need to know their magic trick and take their workshop on how to land your man. Completely ridiculous. The worst part is, people actually buy it. If women would just focus more on the average guy with potential, they wouldn't need to rely on these silly games. But no, It's better to spend thousands of dollars on a course selling the illusion of landing a high-value man. You can't make this stuff up. We've reached the end of the video, but before we go, here are some questions for you. Do you think men are afraid of dating women over 35? How long do you think a woman should wait after your death to start dating again? If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Your support means everything to us and motivates us to create more content. Stay tuned for the next exciting video from The Wall.